Hey guys, welcome back.
Hello.
I don't know why that makes me laugh every time.
just generic.
Hello there!
God. Oh, I hate it. I hate it.
Hello there, General Kenobi.
Oi, chap. Just
That
like
was a bad accent and you should feel bad.
no, it was more of the bad. It was the poor accent plus the choice of words was terrible. Like that was the point.
That explains every single time we do one of these and we speak.
Yep. Just talking in general.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
God damn
So,
it.
so, anyways, moving on. This week we are talking about My Neighbor Seki, or Tonari no Seki-kun, the master
Yeah.
of killing time.
I don't know about Master of Killing Time. I don't know about that.
So, as we start out, yay or nay?
Um, no, 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 no.
Yeah, I figured you probably wouldn't have liked this one. See, in my opinion, I'd say yes, but only in couple like episode blocks. This isn't a series you binge.
Usually when I say, or usually when I say that I want to like recommend a show, like I'd recommend seeing the entire show. The entire show you can basically watch in one episode.
Yes, because you are a very story-driven person.
Like it, even even if we're not talking story, just the overall interaction of the character, like there's nothing here. Like we went over how a lot of Japanese animation, specifically comedy, is based around reactions.
And this series was chock full of them.
Well, it was chock full of the same reaction.
Mm,
Which I mean, okay, so the idea is you present a situation that is different in a way, to what has already happened. The thing is it's so outlandish, you feel like you get the same reaction every single time.
there, it is to some degree, but as the series goes on, you got to admit the main chick, she like the way she handles the situations develops throughout the series. Like she goes from just like sitting and watching to actually like getting involved a little bit. Like it's not just her sitting and like being shocked and surprised at what he's doing. Like she'll get involved.
I'm gonna say the only arc that this thing had was the stupid fucking Transformers.
Those were awesome.
That was the only. But I I get what they're trying to do, right? The problem is that they present it as actually happening because it is in the show, right? The guy is wasting time doing crazy things, right?
Hmm.
But just the absolute lack of realism takes away why she's overreacting, right? Like she can't be the only one sitting there watching him try and get his driver's license with the remote control car.
Mm,
It's
that
it's not like
like
remote
the whole
control cars are silent. It's not like he's doing things that wouldn't draw attention to him anyways. That just makes
I,
everything feel so weird.
I was gonna say like that's the whole thing. Like that's supposed to be like the whole running joke of it is the fact that like for some reason only she is the one who's seeing all this crap.
I'm just saying, like, as a running joke, as a premise, like, that actually took me out of the comedy of it.
That's actually really interesting.
Because if, again, if it was like something like they're doing on their spare time and he's just doing something really weird, like if it was like some sort of like recess or like not in class or whatever, and people just thought he was weird and she was all of a sudden like getting into like him being weird because, let's face it, it's weird, right? Like there's no real reason why she should connect with these stories that he's obviously making up in his own head, or she's like just implanting her own ideas into what's going on, right? Like if it was outside of a classroom where this stuff obviously would never work, then I think it would be more funny than it is.
Like you're also like I feel like you're kind of drastically judging this just because it's not realistic. Like like the first episode you realize yes, like the series is not realistic and regardless and you have to roll with that. You can't judge the premise on everything based off of one little aspect when it's not trying to be.
No, no, I actually enjoyed this near the end. Like near the end, they actually introduced more characters and had more things going on. It was when the show started is when things were actually really dull for me.
It did have a little bit of a slow start, I'm not going to deny that. Like it did take a couple episodes, but like on the upside, the reason why I say if you give this a shot, don't binge it because yes, like the episodes are can feel a little samey, but not in a bad way as long as you don't get burnt out on it. Like when I watched it, I watched a couple episodes like 2 to 4 episodes because each episode's only like 7 minutes, which makes it like a very like easy show to just kind of like if you watch like 4 episodes, it's like oh you're watch like one normal half-hour show. But like if you watch like 2 to 4 and then like take a break to go do something or like you go watch something else, play a game and like in between rounds or whatever you do, you watch like a few more and stuff. You don't get as burnt out and it feels a little bit more like each like the reactions don't feel samey.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I really did. I just tried to watch all of it, and it was that's
Yeah.
probably what like really put the nail in the coffin. But as somebody like I do that. Like I want to see progression. I want to see story. I want to see like whatever, and it's just one of those things that it's an intermission less than a show,
It is.
right?
And
Like
that
oh, you know what it reminded me of? Um, do you remember Lucky Star, the ending?
yes. I do not remember that.
So at the end of Lucky Star episodes, there was a thing called, was it A channel or channel or something?
Oh, like the end of each of the
Yeah, at
episodes.
the end of each episode, like
Yes, yes, yes.
it felt like it was supposed to be a weird highlight reel at the end of a show, and not an actual show on its own. Does that make
Like
sense?
yes and no. Like I understand what you mean where yes, it didn't feel like a full show on its own, but I feel like that's just because of its runtime.
Yeah. No,
Like
I
if each episode was like more elongated, they may have made it so like there was more progression or like
I'm just saying, like it seems like it's part of. It doesn't feel so much like a show as it does like an SNL ongoing skit, like a recurring skit.
that's actually a very good way of like categorizing it. I think it was just a in between kind of like skit show.
Yeah, and I'm fine with it in that context. It's just you have to have that in mind because if you aren't thinking about it that way, then people will get turned off to it,
Yeah.
which I think is it's it's something different to culture now than it was because it used to be where you'd have a show and you have to run on whatever the run time was on TV. You know what I mean? But like now with everything just being so accessible, like there's so many more people that binge watch things, and like you have to kind of come at it from a different angle.
Yeah, but I was gonna say to be fair, like the series isn't like super newer. Like, it,
I mean, you could tell just by the animation.
yeah, the animation, like the anime actually aired back in like 2014.
I think I have to specify because I've got a feeling you're kind of getting me wrong. Like I don't hate the show. Like it's a fine show. It's just that there's
I was gonna say like the way you started your analysis
yeah
made it
yeah
seem
no
like you really hated the show.
no I don't have venom in my voice when I'm saying that the show isn't great.
No, you're the toxicity from you just spews in other things.
I am I have not had a good time, man. I got to get a new phone. Like but
Fair enough.
but at the same point like it I like to watch shows to get away from what's going on,
That is fair.
and this show doesn't provide an escape. Like it provides like
It doesn't like basically yeah, I understand what you mean. I thought I had a way of wording it. It doesn't like pull you away from reality.
yeah, it it's more like a commercial break than an escape.
Yeah, which brings me back to my whole like you can't watch it all at once, which is and I agree with you, which is unfortunate that you can't just like binge through something like this, considering how short each episode is. But
Yeah, and
because of that is the reason you can't.
I mean that's just the thing too is like the episodes are so short that it's like, "Oh, I've got however long like a couple hours I can just go through this entire thing." Like
Yeah, it you can literally watch all of it in like a couple, maybe like 3 hours, because like the OVAs were there's like three special slash OVAs, and each one of those was like 12 minutes.
yeah. Okay. So should we talk about the characters a little bit? Because I mean, there's
The,
again we said there's no like real progression. I mean
no,
the girl has a little bit of a thing going on, but
yeah,
um, so Yokoi
yeah,
is the girl and she watches whatever Seki's doing. Seki's the guy, and that's the show.
yeah. They're neighbors in high school, and like
They're
during
desk
each
neighbors.
yeah during each like during classes, she's trying to focus and study, and then he's just pulling out random shit and then just doing the most random things in the middle of class.
It's I think another thing that gets to me is just the lack of actual communication going on.
Like,
He's doing something and she's just providing a narrative to whatever he's doing.
yeah, and like that's the thing. Seki never talks ever in the show. Like you never hear him talk.
Oh my god. Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, and this is something funny and Greg already knows about this. I have the wiki up for characters in this show. And they gave up because there are more characters. There are more than just two characters.
Yeah, there's supporting characters.
So there's there's two supporting characters, and I wish I could remember their names, but I'm never gonna remember them because they're forgettable for the most part. Um, but the other girl that comes in that is reacting to um, Yokoi and Seki with their like non-verbal communication. Like
Oh,
she's
the one in art
the
class.
one in art class. Yeah, no, she reacts to their
Uh,
non-verbal communication, right?
Sakurako Gato.
Okay, I'm glad you knew that because I have no idea. Um, anyway, that has to be one of the funniest moments in the entire show.
Oh yeah.
Be-
Oh, and then there's also the like yes, her misunderstandings are pretty fucking funny.
but that's where we start getting like what's the difference between just reactions and what's comedy, because the comedy is the misunderstanding, right?
Yes.
At least
I
in our culture, or I should say our, like in my surroundings, like I find that funny is because the misunderstanding is there. And like Yokoi's like, I can't stand this guy, I can't be near him because he's just distracting me and being awful. And the other person seeing it as love, and like that's just funny to me. Which
which it was really funny, but like I'm on the other side where it's like even like when Yokoi is she's like her reactions and like her narratives and stuff are just like I think it's really funny just because of like she gets like all this idea of just like builds this story and stuff, and then Seki just comes in with like a right hook in like the story that she's building of what he's doing and just completely throws it off. And like I don't know, I thought her reactions were pretty funny.
I just think the show benefited from having that third character, like the
Yeah.
whenever wherever the because there was another guy that showed up too. Um, God, I can't
Oh,
remember.
the one like like early in the show,
Was he early in the show? I didn't think he was.
the one that like when Seki was building that like stamp or whatever.
Oh yeah, him. And isn't he the one that's like right in front of him in class where the bear's like climbing on him? And
No, that was a different
that was
dude.
a different dude. Okay,
Yes.
but like it benefits when there's someone else involved, right? Because then she's worried about the guy turning around and finding him, or like the interactions between these kind of things. Like it just gives it more dynamic
Yeah.
storytelling.
I, I think one of the best parts, like some of the best parts, were when like she was building up this story, and like he does something, and then she just glares menacingly at him, and like he gets scared.
Well, it goes both ways too, because
Oh yeah, but like towards the end, it was mostly him just like getting super scared of her. Like early on, it was like she would interfere and then he would give the glare, but
I think that's what they were like looking at in terms of progression, I guess.
yeah,
But at the same point, it was much more entertaining if they varied up the responses like that, you know?
yeah,
Because it was a progression, don't get me wrong, but the progression was so one-sided, where if there was like, again, if it subverted expectations, I would have found it more funny.
mm, that's fair. It's this is a very like coin flippy show.
I feel like they could have just had it wonderfully, like they had it in their grasp and they just like let it slip,
Mm,
you know? Like I want to like it more, but I can't justify liking it any more than I do.
I guess that's fair. Like it's not your cup of tea.
It's just it's just kind of disappointing.
Eh.
Especially because like we all know the person that sits around in class and dicks around with something insignificant, but this guy can for some reason take. Can we just talk about the most amazing character in this entire show? His bag that seems to be the Mary Poppins bag where you can pull like anything out of it.
The very final, I think it's like the very final OVA, he pulls snow out of it.
Where you're just like, are you kidding me?
It is a very Mary Poppins style bag. There's no denying that.
But I think that they just went
She was,
like a little bit over the top. Like if they did more of like what was it, the Everyday Lives of High School Boys did.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Where more of it was in their head rather than actually being presented.
yeah,
Then it would have been so much better because you can see people getting away with things.
yeah. Like 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 one of the things is the fact that like the person sitting in front of Seki is like so big that he like blocks the desk.
I mean that's part of it, but there are things that he does which will cause noise.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? Like the whole domino setup with the bridge and the teeter totter and the like like all of that is ridiculous, but would cause so much noise that you, you aren't wasting time. You're just getting your ass in trouble.
fair.
To where if there was more imagination as opposed to actual physical things that he's messing with, then it would have made more sense. Especially because that would have given a bigger misunderstanding from Yokoi to Seki, because her narration could be vastly different than whatever he's doing, even with him messing around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that would just make it a completely different show at that point.
Not necessarily. I mean, specifically, like something that they keep going back to is the oh, I can't remember what it's called. The chess and
Shogi.
shogi, yeah, the chess and shogi stuff, where those you can play with rather silently, and there is a story there. Like he's telling a story, and she's either telling or misinterpreting a story or whatever, and she interjects, and those episodes are entertaining. I wouldn't say that I've necessarily found them all that funny, but uh, those felt way more in tune with what you could get away with in the back of a classroom.
Yeah, some of the things even I was just like, how is he not getting caught? Or like the person in front doesn't turn around and be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, like the teddy bears climbing on the back of his shirt and like
That
getting
was
yanked around.
funny.
Like it was just one of those things that's just like I don't know.
Yeah.
I I think it was a lot closer to being good than what it sounds like. Cuz on paper just it sounds like it's either very polar, very good or very bad, but I think you could bring it more into the very good category if they made some slight alterations.
That's fair. Like I'm not saying the show was like phenomenal. Like no, I do probably it's not even in my like top 20 or 30. Like, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't like horrible. I wouldn't suggest watching this.
No, it's just one of those things that, it's like you hit it, you miss it. It happens. Ooh, hiccup.
Yeah. if you like my opinion more, watch it. If you like Andy's opinion more, don't watch it.
Well, I said it's not gonna harm you to watch it. Like you watch one episode, you basically get an idea of how the show goes.
More or less.
So it's not bad to watch it. I just don't recommend just sitting down and watching the whole thing.
Yeah, and my suggestion is if you do watch the whole thing, like don't watch it all at once.
Yeah.
Like break it up into like sections and chunks. So,
All
but
right.
all right.
Yep. That's all we got.
Yeah,
That's all I
we
got.
man we managed to drag that out into a decent time.
We drag it out longer than the show. Damn it.
I don't think that's true.
No, but that's funny. It's kind of a funny concept. Anyway, um, next week we're gonna talk about a hoe girl.
A what now?
A hoe girl. Translated to idiot or stupid girl.
All right, I was gonna say, is this gonna be something that is gonna get us kicked off YouTube?
Oh, we could only be so lucky. Hey, maybe then you won't have to remember how to release videos then.
Yeah, I'm bad. Shut up. I don't need your shit.
Oh, see you next time.
Bye. God damn it.